E3, baby.
E3, everybody.
2019.
We are finally here.
We are here in beautiful, sunny Los Angeles, which we mispronounce every time. It's like, Los Angeles, we don't care, we're here. The sun is shining, it's a beautiful day out, and we've actually just been up since 4 a.m. We're jet lagged as hell. But we want to do a first video today. Everything gets kicked off today. Yesterday, EA had their big stuff. Today's going to be Xbox's show. We didn't get a chance to talk about our thoughts on EA's Star Wars Fallen Order thing, so we thought we would do that now. Ladies and gentlemen, E3 Layman coverage begins right now.
Okay guys, so we actually haven't got a chance yet to watch the actual EA Play thing. We have watched the Fallen Order thing. There is a lot of mixed thing. Now, if you look at the dislike ratio, it's not that strong, but it's not that bad either. Like, I thought that everyone was just gonna downvote this shit because it's EA, but it looks like people are giving it a chance. And that's what I'm doing. I'm giving it a chance. I've looked at it.
Sam's really jumped very far ahead of this discussion without laying any foundations or whatever. So let's maybe take it from the top, Sam.
We'll do it live! Fuck it!
A new trailer for a new Star Wars game being done by Respawn, okay? Everyone was very disappointed, of course, when Apex Legends dropped and it wasn't Titanfall, so everyone's like, okay, this is like the only thing that's really coming out for them, you know, in the next year or so, or wherever it's coming out. A lot of hype, a lot hanging on this game. It's the first single-player game, no loot boxes that
no
EA
loot
is
boxes,
doing.
no microtransactions. It's just a straight-up single-player linear Star Wars game, the likes of which, you know, Amy Hennig was working on earlier with Project Ragtag. They canned that, and then like Respawn's now sort of picked up the flag and off they go.
Do it.
The trailer came out yesterday after a lot of hype. The cinematic trailer I thought looked really good, by the way, from a few weeks ago. Very solid, really cool world building, great setting, great character, whatever. This trailer though, I have to say, I wasn't blown away by this trailer. Like, and I don't think I'm alone. I think a lot of people are looking at this trailer and they're being like, it looks okay, it looks pretty good.
I think if CD Projekt Red dropped the same trailer, Ralph would be like, oh my god,
that's bullshit.
It looks incredible, everybody.
First
cannot wait for it.
CD Projekt Red would not drop a trailer like that, let's be real, right?
Look, the thing is, the actual trailer itself, okay, the combat itself is lackluster.
Let's have just a quick look at some of the highlights of the trailer. Go.
Let's start with the combat. I mean, with any game in general usually, but especially a Jedi game, it's very much about, you know, makes you feel like a Jedi. It was a bit lackluster, I do think. You know, this whole trailer showed two things for me. How the Jedi's going to use the environment and also how the combat's going to feel. The environment looked really interesting. I liked how every single time, you know, he was using the environment with his force powers and shit.
though?
Oh, pushing things down, or like, you know, throwing the droid into people, or like climbing things, you know, like there was it was very woven into the environment, your experience, you know. It wasn't just like a static world that you couldn't touch. It was very much like you need to use this and use your powers to move around. I like that.
I feel like environment was one of my biggest problems with this trailer, right? Because it just looked very linear to me. No, I'm serious.
What?
Yeah, and like it really
I think it was this strength compared to the combat, because the combat looked
I think
boring.
the combat and environment both look pretty average, right, personally.
Okay.
But like, I would say environment was a struggle because you looked at what looked like very, very linear environments. And I know the main, like, everyone's like, well, you've been asking for a linear Star Wars-based game, now they give it to you complete. But there's a way to do linearity that doesn't feel and look quite like what they've done here, you know, and I think if you do reflect on something like God of War, that's a really good parallel, you know, and I will come back to the combat as well, but certainly the way that, you know, God of War was handling its environments and also its combat it really was a bit more striking than what we're seeing here. A lot of people are calling out this environmental stuff. A lot of people are saying it's looking a little bit too linear. Obviously, it's alpha. Obviously, it's one level only. Obviously, we're still early in development. It's 10 minutes, we get that. But it's just, was this the right moment to share the glory of the environments? Personally, I wasn't blown away by them.
Yeah, I think that, look, I agree with you. I don't think the actual environments themselves look particularly fantastic. But again, what I did like is how you could interact with the environment so much. I'm excited to see how that actually affects the entire gameplay. But
it looks very Uncharted. Everyone's saying this is basically Uncharted,
yes.
especially with the climbing and the swinging.
Yes.
It really did feel very much like that, but also not much more than that, if that makes sense. And given how much you can do as Jedi versus how much Nathan Drake can do, it really just felt like there wasn't a huge step up.
I disagree slightly in terms of he could like push entire giant piece of metal down to walk over. Look, the last thing we'll say is I think there's a lot that they can do, and maybe the 10 minutes didn't show it. But the combat itself, the moment he like started throwing the lightsaber, I was like, oh, maybe this is going to be God of War kind of thing, you know, throwing things around, and the combat was going to feel like that. But the more I looked at it, I was like, they're missing the mark here. There's something not here that I'm not liking.
Yeah.
The moment you look at God of War combat, even like Spider-Man combat, for instance, you know, there's something about it. You're like, oh, they've got this. This gameplay didn't. I didn't get hooked like that.
I feel like right now, third-person action is in a really great state because as a genre, you've got the likes of FromSoft and you know Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Sekiro, incredible, very tense, very focused, very deep third-person combat. And then, sort of in a different direction, you've got Devil May Cry 5 with just incredible style and panache and whatever else. I think somewhere between those is God of War, which did a really great job of saying, well, we're not going to make it as complex or as stylish, but it's still going to be fucking cool combat. God of War, I think, really nailed that. I think this is trying to exist in that same God of War space, but it's not really blowing anyone away in terms of depth or style.
Yeah.
It looks like the old sort of Force Unleashed games back in the day,
a little bit.
which were fine back then, but melee combat in games like this has come a long way, you know, and I don't think this is really showing like how great combat can look and feel if you're a fucking Jedi with you got your new Jedi powers and you're wrecking shit. I didn't feel like, oh yeah, cool, I can't wait to do that. You know?
I think it's, look, you know, there's a lot hanging on the line with this, as I said at the beginning. You know, EA needs to win. Everyone loves to hate EA, let's face it. So if they bring out, and we love them, right? But if you bring out a trailer that is pretty, it's not underwhelming, it's just whelming, okay? I don't know if that's a real expression.
I'm whelmed. We are well and truly whelmed.
We're currently whelmed. We're not over or underwhelmed, and I think that they needed to bring something that makes everyone go, oh, okay, this looks fucking incredible. But really, it kind of looked like a game that fits between the AAAs. Do you know what I mean? Like, it looked like
it did look a bit like, okay, go and watch footage of Darksiders 3, okay? Tell me there's a large amount of difference between Darksiders 3 footage and that footage. Yeah, it's very similar ballpark.
I just feel like it looks a bit like everything's been done already, you know?
Yeah, and the other thing I'd say is, visually, man, I expect downgrades on this. We were obviously watching a PC build.
It wasn't even that nice.
Okay, I think I was saying it was an Xbox build. That frame rate was so rock solid 60. I guarantee you we're going to see some downgrades. Like, there's no fucking way that trailer was 100%
didn't look,
real.
I mean, it didn't look like incredible.
I know, the Wookiees of detail wasn't great, but like frame rate, draw distances, like texture detail, I guarantee you this is not what's going to shift.
I wonder if it's going to be a Watchtower situation.
An Anthem situation.
Yes.
EA would never do that to us.
Never do that.
No way. So now watch the space about the downgrades.
Totally.
We'll see. Combat, look, it's early, we know that. And look, you know, we're going to give it a chance. I'm very hopeful because it is Respawn. You know, these guys know how to make a good video game. However, they make first-person shooters. This is their first time making a melee game. We'll see if they can handle that transition correctly. Either way, this trailer was not the one to make me go, yes, can't fucking wait to play that shit. It was kind of like, all right, cool. What else you got? That's how I'm feeling about this.
Speaking of what else you got, we're off to the Microsoft conference, everybody. We're going to be dropping another video later. Hopefully that is going to be very good.
Details on the new Xbox, all of the Halo Infinite news, Gears of War 5, all of the exclusives that are coming. We're actually playing a bunch of those today. After the show, we get led backstage into the VIP space, so we go hands-on with a whole bunch of these games. And then there's the Bethesda conference tonight.
We're not invited to.
Which we're not invited to, but we'll watch that in our hotel room and we'll talk about it out here. So anyway, stick around. Make sure you put on your notification bell, sub and notification bell so you know exactly when our stuff goes live during E3. Big shout out to our editor as well. We have an editor for this show, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
Much love to you, my man, and keep it locked to Laymen Gamon.
Oh, God.